you say you decide to eat sugar. Is there a smart way to eat sugar? Can you ever eat sugar again once you've lost weight? Or are you doomed to never eating sugar? So sugar is your choice. Some people are really against it, and some people kind of are just more easygoing about it in moderation, and that's kind of where I am. Right now I'm at my health, like I don't have a reason, like me personally yet, to completely avoid sugar because I easily maintain my weight if I eat sugar in moderation and I have plenty of energy. And so, but you might be different. Some people, when they start eating sugar, they go crazy and they can't stop. And that's not me. If it is, then if it were me, then I probably would not eat sugar because it's kind of like a drug. Like just if it's that addictive, I don't want something so addictive in my life that I feel out of control. You know, like things are a problem if you try to stop eating something and you can't. Or you try to stop, like with your phone, you could have a phone addiction if you can't stop checking it even though you're wanting to and it's getting in the way of other goals. So for me, sugar is not yet getting in the way with other goals. And so at times I totally choose to have it. And you guys, I actually love sugar. And I want to teach you the strategies for when you do choose to eat it, what to do. To not feel deprived, to not feel like you're working against willpower and all this stuff. For me, when I know that I can't, like, am I not supposed to eat something, or I like tell myself I can't, then I want to binge, like I want to go over. And I don't want that to happen to you. And for like the people, like for you on the program as well, yeah, like my big thing is really listening to your body and learning to eat intuitively and know yourself too. If you have noticed that like so much restriction builds up and then you go crazy, then it's time to take a different approach. So I'll kind of go through how I eat sugar on this video of an experience that happened just yesterday, and that should help you. So I went to an all-you-can-eat buffet at the Grand America Hotel with like a bunch of Freckleton girls. We did like an all-day girls out thing. And my grandma paid for us. She's like, go big or go home. And so the all-you-can-eat buffet, like there's tons of amazing healthy food, lots of vegetables for me to choose from. And then there was a whole table of just desserts. And they were gorgeous desserts. I was just like drooling over them because I am a sweet tooth. Like I love desserts. It makes me so happy. I love the sight of them, the beautiful designs, and especially if there's sprinkles or sparkles on something. And so what I did was I first went through the buffet, and my first dish was something healthy. So it was vegetables. I know for sure that I should not, if I don't want to go overboard on sugar, then I shouldn't eat sugar when I'm hungry or thirsty. So first plate was, hey, let's cut off any hunger edge so I don't overeat something. And I wasn't that hungry anyways because I had, been eating frequently that morning. And so I had a little bit of that. But my number one thing, you guys, with eating sugar smart is I don't ever want to be stuffed. I don't want to be so full. Remember the hunger scale? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being so stuffed that you're in pain and almost want to throw it up, and 1 being like starving. 5 is neutral. And so 6 is getting full, and 6 is a very pleasant, satisfied. 7 is, okay, I'm good. Like I'm satisfied. I'm verging on full. 8 is, I'm full. Like the pain might be starting to happen soon. 9 is you're painful. And you're like, oh, okay, my stomach's starting to hurt. And 10 is just like utter pain from being so stuffed. I like to stop at a 6 or at a 7 usually. I probably stopped at a 7.5 or 8 yesterday, which was a little bit more than I thought I would. But it was fine because it wasn't that painful. I could stand up and still feel lean. I wasn't like sucking my stomach in. I still felt strong and whatever. But that was my main thing, okay? And so I didn't actually eat that many vegetables. I had just like 1 asparagus and 1 beet to taste how they flavored it. And so I could leave plenty of room for dessert. So weird to think about that because this isn't your typical health coaching thing. But sometimes we decide to eat sugar, we might as well know how to do it well. So I have that and I go for my seconds. And the girls, like, my family was like laughing. I was like, yep, time for dessert. And they're like, wait, what? Like, you're this health person. I was like, I'll show you. So I went to the dessert table and got like anything that looked super exciting and good. I brought it back. I was so happy. And then, you guys, this is how I eat it. I would grab one and I would take a micro bite. That's what I call it. Just a really small bite, because it just, like, getting stuffed on dessert and sugar does not sound fun to me. Like, nothing is appealing about that to me. Because I've learned so much. I've gotten so in tune with my body and how it feels. Like, I just like feeling good. Like, if you can have both yummy flavor and feel happy and not hungry, then choose that. Like, that's what I choose. So I would take micro bites and I hold them in my palate. And so when I put something in my mouth, I want to taste it. I want to experience it. I want to figure out, oh, what are the spices they put in it? Like, what do I taste? And guess what? When you, how do I say this in a cool way? I don't know. I'll just tell you. When you breathe out, you can taste the most. And so you inhale, can't really taste. Like, try putting something in your mouth and tasting it when you're breathing in. But when you exhale, that's when the flavor rushes in. And so I hold it in my palate, just kind of tasting it, and I breathe out many times. And, like, don't be like in front of everyone, but it's just like, oh, this is so good. And oftentimes I'll be quiet for a little bit as I just, like, really enjoy the good flavor. And so that's what I did and the other thing about holding in your palate too is the reason why we eat sugar is because we like the taste. We don't like, we're not attracted to healthy food or to unhealthy foods because we're like, yes, let's overeat it. Like, some people are, like, they're addicted to being stuffed. But most people are like, yeah, let's taste it. So why not taste it for as long as you can while getting the fewest amount of calories and not getting stuffed? Like, that sounds like a deal to me. If I can eat something that's this small and taste it the whole time while someone's eating something this big that's the same unhealthiness, like, I win, because I'm tasting and enjoying it the whole time. My brain's excited the whole time, while they're going to feel stuffed and regretful and want to throw it up afterwards. Like, not a pleasant experience. So I had a little bite and I breathed out and I just enjoyed it. And I was talking with them. I was in no rush. Like, even my favorite, like, the first thing that I tried ended up being my favorite, and I was in no rush to finish it. And so I was talking with the girls at the table, and they're like, so, like, how do you do this? My big, like, eat sugar well or whatever, because come to find out was their big thing was, I'm afraid to waste food. I don't want to waste food. Like, we have a lot of beliefs, food fallacies, I call them. Things we believe in, and that's how we eat, and it also justifies us eating healthy, which causes weight gain and lethargy. And one of the common concerns was, I shouldn't waste food, so I should eat it. And that often happens with desserts. If you have it, you feel like you need to eat all of it. Especially if you're at a buffet and you have a whole plate of yummy desserts, you might feel like you need to eat all of it. But guess what, you guys? I challenge you to challenge that belief. That's not how I live. And thank goodness, because I have a lot healthier life because of it. So I was talking to them about that, and I was like, well, you can waste, like, tell me about, like, your fear of wasting food. My mom said, like, some people in China are hungry. Like, we should be grateful and eat everything we have. I said, so it's all about wasting food that you're afraid of. Yeah. Okay, so there's two options. You have the food. You can either waste it in the garbage can, or you can waste it on your body. Because there is a certain point, like, what's food for? It's to give us nourishment. It's to help us grow and have energy and to work and function well. There's a point where it crosses the line where your body says, I don't need that anymore, so I'm going to put it as fat. So you're wasting the food, in a way. And so I explained that to them, and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that totally makes sense. You can make the garbage can fat, or you can make your body fat. You don't need to eat everything on your plate. And I'll tell you that now, like, we are blessed to live in a land of abundance. And yeah, I wish I could help with global poverty, but guess what? Me eating a piece of cake is not going to fix global poverty. If you're worried about feeding the hungry, do it in a different way. You don't need to prove that you care by eating the food in front of you, okay? So challenge that. There's other beliefs that you might have as well that are making you, like, you feel like compelled to eat sugar. And try to figure that out. Some people are like, I can't have fun without sugar, or I'm missing out on the fun without sugar. It's free, so I should eat it. It's rare, so I should eat it. And those aren't true. Like, I finally, figured those out, and I was like, false. I don't need to eat it because of that. And so something for you to look into. So I'm glad that we talked about it with them. So you guys, I was watching myself the whole time. I was like, I don't want to be so stiff that I walk out of this buffet hiding my stomach, sucking it in, regretting that I ate that much, wishing I could throw it up or whatever. I don't have those thoughts, but you know what I mean? And so I left, like, I tried basically everything on the dessert table, and I just tried a little bit of it until I was like super satisfied. Sometimes one bite did it because I was just curious, like, what are those sparkles like? I just want something sparkly. There was like a sparkle cake and it didn't taste good. Like, thank heavens my mother-in-law got it, and I was like, oh, can I try that? I've been wondering what that tasted like, and she let me have a bite. It's like, not worth it. That's like a normal box cake. And so I had everything. It was so fun. I was eating so slow, just like, it was awesome. Drinking my water in between. I felt no rush. And then at the end, when we were packing up, I was like, dang, I'm not even like satisfied. Like, I'm still kind of hungry. And so I went back and I filled my plate up with Brussels sprouts. That's how much room I left. And it was so cool. Like, that was my biggest victory is, hey, like, I had this huge buffet. If there's anything to eat, I enjoyed it all. Like, the taste was sensational. And I have room for even more vegetables, which is great. So those are some thoughts when you do choose to eat sugar. Make sure you're not hungry before you eat it. Make sure you have the water. Make sure you're challenging your beliefs. You don't have to eat it whole. You don't have to eat it so fast. Like, you can enjoy it. And you can have a small amount and be just as satisfied. You can keep it in your mouth for longer than anyone there and be tasting it the whole time. And that way, like, for me too, I don't know if I already said this before, like, on this video, so sorry if I did, but oh my gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, if I tell myself, no, I can't have it, when I really do want it, then I tend to binge. And so I don't like telling myself no. There are some times where I flat out don't feel like sugar, and I listen. I listen to those times. Most people never hear those cues because they're not used to listening to their body, and they just plow through them, and so they think they have to eat sugar whenever it's in front of them, and they don't feel good. They start getting addicted and start just putting more junk in their body. You crave what you eat, and so if you keep on eating junk food, you're going to feel like junk. But yeah, so I eat sugar in moderation. There are times in my life where I am eating sugar a lot more than other times, and whatever I'm doing, like listening to my body and being sensitive to the times where my mind might be saying, yeah, you want it, like you love cinnamon rolls, but actually asking myself good questions, you'll find out that you don't want it. It's really cool. It leads to a lot of freedom in eating and making food choices. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so I remembered. What happens if you do overeat? It's just practice, you guys. Like, keep practicing listening to yourself and the hunger scale and where you are. Try to stop at a 6 or a 7. It just takes practice. And say you did overeat. A lot of people, if like you're used to the main diet trap mentality, then you'll probably be tempted to go exercise it off. And that's what I used to do. And that's what I know a lot of people do is, oh, I ate this many calories. I'm going to go on the stair stepper till it says I burned that many calories. That's a great way to go crazy, you guys. Like, you can't outrun your fork. It's not going to work. Might work that day, but in the long term, you're probably always going to be fighting weight gain. For me, if I overdo it and I just maybe I ate when I was super hungry and I way overdid it. I let myself go too long without food, and then, I didn't stop. I wasn't listening. I wasn't eating slow enough. And then I just say, okay, from this moment, I'm going to eat healthy. And usually it's just through nutrition that I correct it. And maybe I won't feel hungry for a while. And maybe, if the fastest way to correct it, you guys, is just to start eating healthy right then. It's not to beat yourself up or feel guilty or whatever. It's just ask yourself, learn from, well, why did that happen? What was my trigger? Was I hungry? Was I thirsty? Was I emotional? What emotion was it? Was I falling for a food fallacy that I had to have it? Was I with a certain person? Is it at a certain time of day? Is it at night when no one's around and I'm feeling emotional? I'm working with a client I have that's working on the Sugar Leash course. that I have, and she is writing, like every night she writes in her journal now, instead of, because she used to go to sugar every night. And a lot of times you want sugar because you're having some emotional like fight inside that maybe you're stuffing down and you're not addressing. So she started to write in her journal, and she's like, I'm blown away. The things that are coming up, like the little emotional things that happen during the day that I don't address, they get stuffed inside, and then I go eat sugar. But now that I'm writing them and discovering them, I'm addressing them and they're getting resolved, and I feel better and I feel clean and energetic because I'm not going to sugar anymore. And so go ask yourself, what happened during the day? Is there something off? And she found like someone came over and she felt jealousy towards them, or maybe her husband said something a little bit off, or maybe a kid is stressing her out. And so there's healthy ways to deal with it, deal with sugar that you can start learning as well with the emotional side of things. So let me think, is there anything else? I'm going to pause. Oh yeah, one thing. This is kind of going to be in tangents, but just a few more things. Is your environment, like, be smart. If your trigger is just because there was like chocolate in front of you and you eat it, like, of course it's going to happen. Like, don't keep fighting that and trying to willpower through that. Get the sugar out of your house. I've focused so much on my sugar and all that I know that if sugar's in the house, I'm going to eat it. And so if I ever choose to buy chocolate chips, maybe I want to make something for something, then I have to say, hey, like, am I okay with downing this whole bag in the next 12 hours? Because that's what's going to happen. I'm not going to lie to myself. So watch out for that. Like, be really conscious about your environment. There's so many factors influencing us that are pulling us to try to like win, and we're pulling back. If we have them on our side and pulling with us, like our environment pulling with us, emotional like awareness pulling with us, not being hungry, not being thirsty, it's all going to help us like get our goals. So I just want you to know that you can live a healthy life full of freedom and energy, and it doesn't need to be this whole restriction, unhappy, deprivation thing. If you're feeling that, then it's like, ask yourself, is this working for me? It's not. And so change your tactics and try something new. Try looking at it in a different way. Try things that, like, there's no right or wrong answer. Just kind of figure things out and see how they're working, and always ask for help from your health coach or whatever. Or friends that you know that are good at it, or you can feel free to ask me. But anyways, I wish you happy holidays, and to navigate through your goals well, and navigate through temptations, if you want to call them that, or whatever, and so that you can make choices that make you feel clean and healthy and energetic. And it's just like, there's nothing better than having a body that feels so good and that can do anything that you need it to do, and do things with you, and you're able to be with your family because you got a healthy body. So take care of that thing. That's our bodies are such a gift to us. We only have one, and so treat it well. Okay guys, see you later.